Hello and welcome. And today we have a little game of Bepa against Exodia. We will see if this goes perfect, or if this is going to end up in an Exodus or an Exodus, however you want to cut it. But we have it 5k here, 15 peacetime, and looks like Ukraine. I'm not too familiar with that. But I can expect that we see a lot of Serdyuks. Yes, a lot of Serdyuks, maybe a few more Serdyuks and a bit of more Serdyuks, and probably one or two Siege Cossacks. I don't know what the rules though. I think the diplomatic center is off. Or is it on? I'm not sure. But apparently it's a classic 15 peacetime. 5k, like classic in terms of color apparently. And therefore it's on. So yeah, it's Gold League obviously. Because Bepa is a perfect player. But we all already knew that, of course. And before you ask, nope, I'm not Call of It. I'm not fit. I'm not even fat. I'm Imperator Ricardo. And Ave Civitas. In that, on that note. And we can already see that the Bepa has 3 Cossack houses and 1 stable. Yes, 3 Cossack houses, 1 stable, while Exodia has only 2 Cossack houses and 1 stable, but also only 2 town halls. Now he's building his 3rd Cossack house, but it's a little bit late, and Bepa has an economic advantage over him, at least for the moment, for the time being. And I wonder if anybody's gonna go for some neutral mines in this case. I would expect that it's not. I would expect that it's not quite illegal, but I'm not sure. I would have to look up the rules. Exodia is building his diplomatic center far ahead of time of Bepa, but since this is 15 peacetime, this doesn't really matter right now. You can still get plenty of mercenaries if you build it later. And in this case, Bepa has another town hall, which means that his economy is going to benefit more than Exodia. Because Exodia spends his resources on making a diplomatic center, while Bepa spends his resources on peasants and thus making more Serdyuk upgrades, which in return counter his diplomatic center, because the Serdyuks are pretty freaking strong. So Exodia is building a great wooden. I suppose he read a lot of Trump, a lot of Trump book, probably even The Art of the Deal. Looking at how he traded his economic power for a diplomatic center, it is yet to be shown if that was the worst trade deal in the trade deal history or not. Bepa still doesn't have his diplomatic center, whereas Exodia has built his third town hall. I'm wondering what keeps him occupied, because he doesn't seem to be building anything for quite a while now. Probably getting some upgrades, food upgrades probably. Looks like Bepa's diplomatic center has been built, and I probably just missed it. He built it right next to the forest and built siege Cossacks even more. Well, I suppose more can't be bad, but in that during that time Exodia builds more siege Cossacks. I didn't say anything. But Bepa shouldn't ignore the fact that he needs fodder as well. Otherwise he might just die, because well, he can't tank damage. He takes direct damage, which isn't really the thing that you want when you play with musketeers. Or Sturdius for this matter, but that's basically the same. But still producing siege Cossacks, so is Exodia for him. Luckily for him, I think. I can only count 3 Cossacks houses for Exodia. Either I'm blind or he builds his 4th now. Well, Bepa also only has 3. I suppose that Bepa had 3 by this time, but he's building it now. It might appear that Bepa's plan for a fast economic start didn't quite work out. But I'm not sure what he's doing with all these resources that he should technically have. Especially with the Ukrainian economy, which you don't need anything else but food, pretty much. And of course gold, but I shouldn't need to mention that. From the looks of Bepa's diplomatic center, he's gonna go on heavy cavalry tactic. Probably he's going to raid Exodia into submission, which might actually work. Exodia's economy should technically still be a little bit more vulnerable than Bepa's economy, simply because he built his town hall later. So he has less peasants. So it might still work out to some degree. But Exodia sees his siege Cossacks because he has a surgery right at the border, which can't be removed just yet. So Exodia can prepare for this. And he did, with a great wooden wall. Trompodia. Though this wall isn't finished just yet, it will be in the southern corner, because by the time the siege Cossacks get there, the wall is already going to be done. So what is he going to do now? He's going to chase down single Serdyuks without noticing it, then pulling back. Is it just me, or does Bepa's army look very small in terms of Serdyuks? But it take quite a long time to build, so gotta give that. He's now trying to breach a wall, but Exodia notices this, since the Ukrainian wall has 1000 health more, I mean. The wall isn't going to crumble that fast. And Exodia built a gate there where the damaged wall was. A cheeky little trick to restore the wall's health, basically. And it also got some Pepasusa siege Cossacks to run into the wall and to land on the side of Exodia. Now some siege Cossacks from Bepa are bugging against the wall without being noticed. They are bugging back through the gate that has been built. Looks like this gate trick produces more problems than it's worth. Bepa is now attacking the gate, I think. Yes, he is. He's gonna breach through, and I suppose he's gonna go right through. Actually, he's going to pull back for some reason. He had plenty of time to get through there and to cause havoc in the economy of Exodia, basically, but he ignored that opportunity for some reason. Now he's going to have a very hard time because Exodia is wary. This is a situation where pulling out is a good idea. Or pulling back your men, basically. He managed to get through. His fodder is very fast though. Hope he has enough musket upgrades, whilst his siege Cossacks to a large part get murdered in gunfire. No, he doesn't have enough food, the fodder. His cavalry heavy tactic did not pay off. At this point I think it's impossible for Bepa to win simply because of the amount of Serdyuks that Exodia has left. He won't be able to produce enough to counter that in any dimension, and even artillery won't help him now. He simply doesn't have the manpower, and he's still producing siege Cossacks, even though round shears would be way more useful at this point. Or generally in this game. I think it's a good idea to put some siege mercenaries into your army, but this was really just too much in my opinion. Now Bepa had produced some cannons, and they are shooting at the Serdukes with grape shot, and well, it kind of worked. Siege Cossacks and peasants together disrupting the Serdukes, causing a bit of damage, but it wasn't enough unfortunately. I don't know if this is elimination or best of something. And I don't get information either. So I don't know what's happening next. And welcome back to what might be the last game of this matchup, or not, depending on who wins. What? Apparently, even if Bepa loses, it's still 3 games. That's a weird method. No, that's a point-based system, okay. That's a little bit weird, but I'm not gonna question that. Why should I, after all? I can just sit here and look with my eyes in my head. But yeah, you sure know that. Now we have Poland on 0 peacetime, which what looks like lock cabin stats and 4,000 resources. And Exodia is instantly going for the Polish musketeers. Probably a good choice because the Poles don't have any armor. Because reasons. Maybe they were just too poor to get armor in the 17th century, but what do I know? I'm not a Pole. And that's probably good that way either. As well, I mean. Words are a little bit hard today. But when aren't they? Bepa is going for the Polish pikes. I still have no idea if the diplomatic center is on or not, but depending on if it's on or not, if it's on, the pike start is better, I guess. 0 peacetime, and you have an easier chance to run over the enemy and basically give him a bad time. With archers and stuff to burn the log cabins in the process. It should work out. Especially since ammunition should be rare in the beginning. And log cabins will still use ammunition. I think that some people don't know that. Maybe. But judging by the fact that it looks like Bepa is setting up guards, it looks like the capture is on. And the diplomatic center I still don't know. But stables are definitely on, because Exodia has one. What is he producing? He's producing Wayne Tusas. A good choice, I suppose, though I don't know if Light Horsemen would be better in this case, simply because of the amount that you can produce of them. We'll see what Bepa goes for, when Bepa goes for stables, or if at all. It's not needed to make stables, but it's helpful. Professor Bepa is going for a quick diplomatic center though, quicker than Exodia at least. And that proves my theory that the diplomatic center is on. I'm sorry again, words are hard, and I tend to stutter somehow. And Bepa is producing siege Cossacks, which are incredibly useful actually, because Exodia doesn't have any guards. Well, he does have guards, but it's just some musketeers which he can easily develop. I would still go for some archers and just go for a rush attack, because kick it while it's down, basically. Or while it's weak at least. Pike sure is an interesting weapon. Even in the 17th century, it was surely already over 2000 years old. At least Alexander the Great used pikes a lot. Looks like Exodia is using his winged hussars to defend against Bepa's raids, which winged hussars are very effective against siege Cossacks, because siege Cossacks aren't very good against armored things. And that's why Bepa shouldn't waste time. And why is he producing round shears? He needs archers. A lot of archers, in fact, to kill the log cabins fast. Though some round shears aren't bad either. They can tank the bullet damage from log cabins and musketeers. But it looks like Bepa is just gonna send a formation of pikes in alone anyway. That's interesting. I mean, what does he expect? Does he expect Exodia to delete his log cabins on his own? He isn't gonna damage his economy like that. Or anything, really. Bepa is also going for the winged hussars. In the look of the siege Cossacks being rather useless. A good idea, I guess. It looks like Exodia has slight ammunition problems. Well, now he has ammunition again, and Bepa is just going to retreat while getting shot in the back. And Exodia's winged hussars are going to run up as well. This is a waste of information, Mr. Bepa. I'm sorry, but it really is. And he is still running away. Now he's turning around and running away again. Ouch. What's this? It's like 20 pikemen and 5 archers or so. Now going against Exodia, even though there's winged hussars, and I can understand that you are very... how do I put that? You're very excited about this battle, but you can't use zero peacetime rush tactics if the enemy has more cavalry than you sent to attack, especially if you walk them in like that. Exodia should soon hit the phase where his musketeers will easily counter the pikes from Bepa, and at that moment Bepa is fucked, pretty much. Looks like Bepa is trying for a raid, but Exodia's mauling hussars are more effective. Uh, it's a little bit sad to watch, to be honest. Now there's some grenadiers from Bepa and some artillery. But Exodia is on the march forward. And Bepa doesn't look prepared. I hope he can still prepare for this. I mean, you could shoot your cannons instead of moving your men back. But okay. And the Bepa perfect cannon barrage is taking, no, not taking fire, it's firing at Exodia, and Exodia is taking fire. And Exodia just falling back. Looks like he had enough vitamin cannonball for one day. And now Bepa is taking heavy fire and taking quite a few losses, but not too many, at least not right now. It's kind of a standstill right now, but if you haven't noticed already, and if I didn't say already 10,000 times, Bepa might be screwed. Because the musketeers of Exodia surely are fully upgraded by now. And from the size of the base, Exodia might soon, or is already 18th century, maybe, I don't know. But the same goes for Bepa in a way, but I can't tell for sure. Cannons are nice and good, but if you don't have the firepower to protect them with, you can as well just not use cannons. Almost like what I did in my game. I used a bunch of spearmen to just run over the enemy while the enemy had cannons, and it still worked. Somehow. Oh, Bepa is going for the cannons, but the enormous Hussar mass of Exodia is nearby and protected it. Taking a bit of fire, but nothing too major, because these winged Hussars are very good at dodging. Bepa is shelling the army of Exodia, while Exodia is just turning around again. That, of course, works too. Well, how was your day? Because there's nothing really happening right now, so might as well just talk about you, or to you, directly that is. Bepa is trying to get a good point for his cannons to shoot at Exodia from, but Exodia notices this and shoots back very effectively with his cannons more spread out than Bepa's cannons. Though this probably might as well just mean that they take more damage, because cannons are less accurate. Probably rather spread out targets are better without accuracy upgrades. But Bepa's cannons appear to be losing this battle. Is this? Because if it is, then he's using his winged hussars poorly. Exodia has built 3 18th century barracks and is producing 18th century musketeers. This is not good. Bepa's army is way too late, his winged hussars are taking heavy casualties. And his main army takes heavy casualties from cannon fire, while Bepa's cannons, well, they aren't really shooting in proper directions. And that's it for Bepa, for this game at least, and don't worry, there's going to be another game. After that, I don't know what happens, but there's one more, and that's going to happen now. And we'll see if Bepa can turn that one around. I hope so. So we can at least have a 2-1. I hope. But yeah. On to the next game. And we are back for the last game of these people. This is Millions, with Dutch apparently, and no peacetime. And 6 town halls for the start, and 4 for Exodia. Many town halls in Millions, Bepa. Well, I hope that he isn't going to shoot himself in the foot with 6 town halls. It looks like Exodia is quite the faithful one, building 4 cathedrals. That's another way to Deus. Mercenary dragoons for Bepa. The same for Exodia. And 18 dragoons for Bepa as well. And so is Exodia. Artillery depots as well. Important in this mode, because otherwise you can just spam each other so hard and it's not going to matter at all if you have more men or not, because they'll die sooner or later. Bepa is taking a hill in the middle, which might actually come in handy, even though it doesn't control the entire middle, even though it wouldn't be far off it. Well, it would be far off it, but from the map size seen, it wouldn't be too far off. However, I think that mercenary dragoons are nice and all, but they also need some fodder, I suppose. So they're already producing a lot of cannon. He might be trying to take that hill by force, especially with this barrage of cannons. I think that's 20 cannons or something like that. That should suffice to shoot Bepa off the hill. The hill is nice and all, but Bepa doesn't have the cannons to defend it right now. And Exodia also can just go around it. And that's already half of Bepa's army gone. Rather fast. And a little bit worried. It looks like both players are producing the 18th pikeman, the most trash of our trash units. And Bepa is abandoning his cannons, literally giving some of them to Exodia. At least 2. That's how many I've seen. So with the artillery of Exodia closing in and Bepa hiding in his base, this is going to be over quite soon. Because the cannons don't have a problem shooting at buildings, and Exodia's army is quite big. Though most of its firepower is concentrated in the north, while most of Bepa's fodder is concentrated, well, everywhere. And the cannons are just rolling into the pikes, which might be a very dangerous situation for Exodia. Oh, but now his peasants are coming. And then the non-winged peasants arrived. And they literally saved the day. How funny it sounds. Oh, Bepa actually managed to strike Exodia back. I don't know how he managed that, but it's good for him. If he's less aggressive now, and well, somehow manages to run over that hill, which he should be able to. He has quite a bit of firepower left, and most of the fodder is on that hill. He might be able to pull it off, if you know what I mean. But the cannons are hitting into the hill instead of onto the dragoons, which might backfire. But it looks like Bepa has this engagement in his hand. Exodia is making howitzers now, which is good. I like howitzers. People say they are not as good as cannons, but they're certainly better than cannons and killing large blobs of enemy. But it doesn't look like Exodia is trying to mount a resistance like Bepa did. He's just continuously streaming in. Forward, which means that we have our 2-1 now. At least one thing. It was quite close though. One wrong move and Bepa would have died. Or Exodia would have gathered smarter in this case. So that's it now. 2-1 for Exodia. Bepa only won one battle here, which is still something, I mean. At least one battle has been won, and yeah. I've got no idea what's happening next, or if anything happens next, because the stream during the week is usually short-lived for tournament's sake, like this for example. So I don't know, but it looks like Color's going to make some friendly battles. Huh. Well, at least I, for my part, I can't really be buggered to play now. I'm a little bit. It wasn't a rough day, but it still was rough on me, for some reason, if you know what I mean. And well, yeah, and enjoy the friendly games. And yeah, I'll see you next time. And from my side, that was a rhyme.